So we use AI to understand that anomalous behavior, to understand these benchmarks, and to mitigate the risk of a potential cyber attack, whether it's AI or more traditional. We use generative AI. So in the past, an organization might read log files, correlate that data, and say, okay, here's what I think, and summarize this. But we now use generative AI to summarize thousands and thousands of log files, to be candid, bytes and terabytes a day, build a summary. So now that 24/7 person looks at a summary that's AI generated, knows what to do. So think about that. In the past, looking at logs, creating a summary, making a decision, that could take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Now it's happening in milliseconds, and the person brought in, the human, can just look at the summary within a minute, know what's going on. That is a huge time savings. And by the way, how you defeat a cyber attack, whether you're stopping something or mitigating the risk, speed. Speed and accuracy is it. AI works with people to bring an incredible amount of speed and accuracy.
Welcome to Podcast Wise, Perspectives, Cybersecurity and AI. They say that in the world of cybersecurity, speed isn't just an advantage. It's the only defense that counts. Today we are joined by a man who lives and breathes that philosophy, starting his day at 5 a.m. in the gym and ending it by outpacing global threat actors. Tony Pietrocola is a serial entrepreneur, a former Apple engineer who saw the Steve Jobs era firsthand, and a leader who believes that while AI handles the heavy lifting, it's the smart humans who carry the ball into the end zone. As the co-founder and president of AgileBlue, he's on a mission to bring autonomous AI-native security to the mid-market, making sure the good guys have the same firepower as the giants. Get ready to talk shop about defeating AI with AI, the discipline of a student athlete, and why obsessing over the customer is the only way to build a company that lasts. All right, let's get started. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Hey, Tony.
Hi, Tin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you.
That's great. That's awesome to hear. Now, I see that you started your career as an Apple engineer back in the late 90s. If you could beam yourself back to your first day at Apple with the knowledge that you have now, what's one simple piece of advice would you give to the younger version of yourself?
Great question. Thank you for dating me. And I would have told my younger self to get more stock in the organization. That's for darn sure. I would have given up my salary for more stock. So that's number one. But number two would be, look, when you have an opportunity to work for an organization like Apple, absorb, because it is such an entrepreneurial organization. You can take everything you glean from an organization like that and use it when you create a company down the road, which I did, but there was a lot of stuff maybe I didn't, maybe take to heart. So that would be it. Shut up, open the ears up. That would have been my advice to young Tony.
Okay. That's a good advice. It's a good advice for everybody. Now, before co-founding your company, you had a successful background in e-commerce and fintech. When people ask you about your career shift, what is the single most compelling reason you decided to jump into cybersecurity?
Well, first and foremost, I knew my co-founder of AgileBlue for 20 some years. And this is a gentleman who understands technology, cybersecurity. And after I was done with my previous company that was acquired, he and I got together, started talking about cybersecurity. And think about it. There is a tremendous need, not only for what we do, specifically to security operations. The world's getting crazier by the moment with AI. So we thought this was the perfect space to be in, to not just help organizations protect themselves, but to create a business that we know could sustain over decades, number one. Number two is in high demand. Number three, doesn't matter what the economy looks like. We're in an industry where everybody needs the help and security of a cybersecurity organization.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Now, you stated that a core goal for your platform is to build an autonomous SecOps platform. How close is the company to realizing a fully autonomous platform, and what major security function will remain under human oversight in the future?
I got to tell you, that's a great question. And it sounds like I planted that question, but I didn't. So that's good for you. Amazing research. So here's an interesting way I'm going to answer this. I don't think we'll ever see a fully autonomous security operations platform. So even though that's the goal of our company and we strive to hit that goal every single day, because of the advancement of AI, because of the advancement of cyber criminals, There's always going to be a component of autonomous technology and super smart human experts 24/7, right? And
Uh-huh.
by the way, it's what our clients expect as well. So we could automate as much as we want, 90% of level one, level two, 50% of level one through level three. At the end of the day, if there's a cyber compromise or cyber event going on, our customers still want to talk to a human being, not anything dealing with AI. We'll use AI to investigate, reduce time,
Yeah.
increase accuracy, but we want people talking to people.
Yeah. That makes sense because personally, I don't want to talk to a robot or AI, right? Like I want to talk to somebody. I want to talk to a human. Even like I mean, even when I call the doctor, I'm okay with, talking to the AI bot to get to where I want to go to, right?
Sure.
Like not I don't want to be taking a long time to talk to the human because the human is doing something else and is busy with another human in person. So if I'm talking to an AI while on the phone and be like, okay, well, I just reconfirm my appointment. Is it okay? Right? Like, when is my appointment? Or I need a referral or something like that. It would be more, I think it would be easier and more effective talking to the AI bot at that point. But if I really had a question that is more personalized, I would want to talk to a human.
Agree. Especially if your business is being disrupted or being held at ransom, you're going to want to deal with people.
Yeah.
You do want to know technology, though, is on the forefront trying to keep you safe from all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, your company focuses on the mid market. What specific challenges do mid sized businesses face in cybersecurity that your AI powered SOC as a service is uniquely designed to solve? So, how do you maintain affordability for this segment?
It's a wonderful question. Affordability obviously is always a touchy thing for people. What's affordable to some is not affordable to others. Number one is mid-sized businesses don't have the talent, right? It's hard to recruit the cyber experts. It's
Mhm.
even harder to retain the cyber experts. So organizations not only need the technology, they need to know there's a 24/7 team, right? So that's the blend of AgileBlue, bringing the AI technology with that 24/7 team. So how do we keep that economical and doable within budgets these days? Because we're at scale, right? AgileBlue has about 600 customers globally. 40% of that is in government, 60% is in corporate. By having that economy of scale, we're able to take advantage of all of our AI, all of our technology, all of our people costs, spread that cost around to create a environment that allows small and mid-sized businesses to get the same type of security operations, just like the big guys are getting. And that's what's important. Otherwise, they're going to go down left and right to hackers.
Yeah, I totally agree. So what is have you thought about going to maybe a small business market, or is that just like not feasible because of the size of the companies?
I mean, sometimes, I mean, to be very candid, we work with organizations, believe it or not, under 100 people, and they're there with budgets. So we think we've aligned ourselves pretty well. Now, look, small companies, sometimes they're not going to pay a dollar for anything. It's just because they might not have that dollar, or they
Mhm.
might need to do something else with that dollar. So we get it, but you got to be doing some type of cybersecurity. Otherwise, if your business gets disrupted, how can you even stay in business when you're that small, right? So you got to think ahead. You got to think wisely about how that can happen.
Yeah. Now, you emphasize that cybersecurity requires a good mix of great tech with really good people. In what specific areas of the threat cycle, i.e., detection, investigation, responses, does the human element still provide an indispensable advantage over AI?
I think there's two. I think there's two. Number one, I still believe humans have critical thinking more than AI. When it comes to an investigation, I think AI can do great and then make a decision, malicious, benign. But
Mhm.
AI can also get stumped on that, right? A human being can think about it, think about the industry, think about what it's seeing, think about things it talked about last night, whatever it might be, and still make a critical decision that our customers expect and then relay it to them. I'll say this though, where AI beats a human in critical decisioning is AI doesn't have it can have bias, but let's just assume bias hasn't been programmed in, like Gemini for Google initially was. Let's say there's no bias. AI is making a black and white decision on a potential cyber attack where a human can have bias or learned events that maybe make it the ability to not make such a clear decision. So those are a couple of aspects that I think are interesting. And by the way, with a lot of our clients, especially on the government side, they do want a human to make that final decision, not an AI. AI can get you maybe to the 5-yard line, as using a football analogy, and then they want the human being taking it from the 5 to the goal line.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to have the human integration, right? Like at the end, like, okay, it's trust but verify is a thing that I've been saying a lot is that, yeah, you can trust the AI to do the work, but verify it, right? So it's just like, okay, yeah, that looks right. Okay, finalize, checkpoint. Okay, good. So yeah, I totally agree with the government's idea of having the human interaction in it versus like everything 100% AI.
Yep,
Uh,
agree.
so now your company utilizes its own Cerulean AI powered SecOps platform. Can you elaborate on the core machine learning and behavioral analytics principle that enables your platform to detect anomalous activity rather than just relying on your unknown threat signatures?
Yeah. Yeah, great question. So when we started the company back in 2020, we built all of our detections based on unsupervised machine learning, right? So this gives our technology the ability to benchmark normal behavior in both devices
Mhm.
and human beings, right? So we can understand not just threat intelligence, not just rules, not just machine learning jobs that show that anomalous behavior, but true behavioral traits that just don't add up. Even though somebody's allowed to be the admin in a Microsoft 365 tenant, doesn't mean they can go to specific spots within that tenant, or maybe they're an admin, but they've never done a certain task. And now all of a sudden they did that. Even if it's a false positive, we still want to know that, right? And then as we moved into AI, we do utilize Anthropic's LLMs, Sonnet and Claude, but we've built our own AI. We've built our own AI engines, and now we've built our own AI decisioning against that. Also bringing in external threat intelligence feeds that are perfect way to correlate that data and understand where these anomalies are and these correlations exist.
Okay. So is it akin to the user entity behavior analytics, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and when you think about user behavior analytics, it's telling you so much more than just where did a user go and what did a user do. A lot of people think if you have access to something, you have carte blanche into that, right? There's hacking systems these days where hackers are literally getting hired at organizations in a legitimate role, but they're hackers. And they might be great for 8 months. And on month 9, they start striking and they start doing things that are different. But a lot of people say, well, I've been here 8 months. He's just doing some things on this. It's okay. No, that's still alarm, whether that's in the government or corporate. And we're seeing a lot more of this happen. So this behavior analytics is something that is growing. It's not about just about external threat. It's more importantly about insider threat.
Yeah, because you never know, right? Like a
You never know.
insider, yeah, the insider threat. You never know, especially if you hire somebody that is, you know, another country. I'm not going to name
Yeah,
names.
understood. We all know the names. We all know the countries,
Right,
right?
right, right. So another country threat actor that would come in and be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna work remotely. I'm gonna do these things, and then you never really meet them because it's all
Right.
remote. So it's a little scary at this point. And like
Agree.
the deep fakes, you include the deep fakes in here, because they can act as somebody that is American. So then you don't know if they are really American. How do you verify all this stuff? So the landscape is a little scary.
These people, here's what's crazy about it. These people have passports. They're
Uh-huh.
passing the I-9. They're passing W-2. They have all the required documentation. So not only are they documented, You're hiring them just like you would hire me, who was born in Cleveland, Ohio, right? There's really
Right.
no difference. So how do you stop that? It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Now, the threat landscape is rapidly changing with the rise of generative AI. How is your company adapting its internal technologies and service offering like Sapphire AI to effectively defend customers against sophisticated AI generated attacks?
Yeah, again, fantastic question. And so Sapphire AI is our proprietary AI that does three really important things: autonomous investigations,
Uh-huh.
decisioning, and response. So we use AI to understand that anomalous behavior, to understand these benchmarks, and to mitigate the risk of a potential cyber attack, whether it's AI or more traditional. We use generative AI. So in the past, an organization might read log files, correlate that data, and say, okay, here's what I think, and summarize this. But we now use generative AI to summarize thousands and thousands of log files, to be candid, terabytes and terabytes a day, build a summary. So now that 24/7 person looks at a summary that's AI generated, knows what to do. So think about that. In the past, looking at logs, creating a summary, making a decision, that could take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Now it's happening in milliseconds, and the person brought in, the human, can just look at the summary within a minute, know what's going on. That is a huge time savings. And by the way, how you defeat a cyber attack, whether you're stopping something or mitigating the risk, speed. Speed and accuracy is it. AI works with people to bring an incredible amount of speed and accuracy.
Oh yeah, totally. Because you save so much time and instead of looking as a human, reading and trying to find the needle in a haystack, that takes forever, right? Like
I agree.
so the needle in a haystack logs in terabytes of logs, that's forever.
I know. I know. And trust me, our security operations team knows. Yeah. With 600 customers, we have a lot of data.
Yeah, that's a lot of data. Now, ransomware is a persistent threat. What is your company's core philosophy and technical approach to helping clients mitigate the risk of ransomware, especially in the context of your autonomous response capability?
Well, number one, with anything dealing with ransomware, it's happened because somebody clicked on something they shouldn't have clicked on, right? Whether it's an email or whether it's a text message these days. You're seeing way more text messages. We even saw Slack potentially get compromised, Teams get compromised. Well, something will be sent there and somebody clicks on something. So the compromise generally starts with humans. So training humans is always important. We don't do that aspect of it, but I will always say, do the training, right? Do the know before stuff. We do it as an organization ourselves, number one. Number two, our platform's there to understand the threat intelligence, understand what's happening, understand that link that was sent is malicious. Here's why, and get people to not do it. So remove it, notify, or if somebody does click something, shut it down before it's able to do anything harmful. Really mitigate that risk. That's the key. And then unfortunately, if something happens, because no defense is foolproof, as we all know in cyber, if something does happen, how do we move fast to isolate the machine, stop the lateral spread? And if something does spread, how do we bring in DFIR, so forensics and response, to then start moving quickly to repair and remediate what needs to happen? It's a whole process. It's one that has to be thought out, played out, and practiced. You can't just say, hey, we're going to do this if we're ever hacked. You got to practice this stuff, tabletop exercises. That's how we do it to keep our customers safe, secure, or mitigate what that risk is if something happens.
Yeah, that practice part is very important. It's really crucial because surely if I was part of the SOC and I did not know who to call next or what's their phone number, and I'm just like running around with my head cut off, like, what's going on, right?
Right.
The practice is very crucial. It's like Olympic sport.
Unfortunately, there's no gold medal at the end of the rainbow, right? Yeah,
Ah, man, if only.
exactly.
If only. Now, your platform is designed to streamline the security operations center, the SOC, functions. What key metrics like mean times to detect or mean time to respond are you most focused on improving with your latest AI rollouts? And what are the realistic targets?
So both of those are really important: mean time to detect and mean time to respond. Of course, SLAs, right? Customers expect a full response within 30 minutes. That's generally the kind of industry standard. Last year, we were well below that, meaning 2025 so far, we were well below that because of AI into the single minutes, which is great. We think we can constantly push that number down. Also, we want to reduce false positives, whether it's our people working or customers. We want to reduce human dependence and work, right? So false positives, really dropping those by over 90 some percent. So customers aren't worrying about things that aren't really persistent threats, right?
Right.
That's another number we work on tremendously. But that mean time to detect has to be in the seconds. Otherwise, I don't think an organization has a chance. So we want to get those down as much as we can. But more importantly, is that mean time to respond. If that response can be happening instantaneously or from a human within a few minutes, my goodness, we've just probably stopped something bad from happening. Once you get into the tens of minutes or an hour, I mean, it's obviously unfortunate for that organization. So those are the real big metrics we're tracking and notifying our customers of all the time.
Yep. Sounds like speed is crucial here.
Crucial.
Your platform, excuse me. Your platform offers security solutions for regulated and high-risk industries like financial security, financial services,
Mhm.
and healthcare. How does your platform ensure that compliance and regulatory reporting requirements are met alongside active threat detection?
It's critical. And then obviously for European organizations, a GDPR or whatever else might be important to them, these are things that are crucial. So when we're working with a customer, whatever their compliance mechanism is, from ISO to SOC, it could be GDPR, could be whatever it may be, that is important to them. It's understanding the data we're collecting, right? No PII, no PHI when it comes to healthcare,
Mhm.
making sure the encryption's working the right way. We also have a partnership with Security Scorecards so we can index and understand where we might have a conflict with any of these compliance regulations, which specific control number, to really understand where a client could be out of compliance. So our team is very mindful of it, understanding the data we're collecting and where we could be out of bounds with a specific control within a compliance mechanism.
Okay, that's cool. So let's go a little bit personal here, and we're going to say,
Uh-oh.
before finding success in the tech world, you started your career as an Apple engineer, as mentioned earlier. What is one lesson you learned during your time at Apple that still defines your business philosophy and leadership style today?
Obsess over customers. Done. Like that's it. I don't care if you work at McDonald's, AgileBlue. I don't care where. If you could be president of the United States of America. If you obsess over your customers or constituents in that matter, everything will be fine. And I think organizations that lose their way think about their product solely, profit, revenue, whatever the number is. By the way, I care about profit. I care about revenue. Of course I do. You can't have a business without those things. But if we obsess over our customers, we will never go wrong. As you can imagine, Apple obsesses greatly over their customers.
They sure do.
Sure do. I started in September of 1997. Steve Jobs had just came back to the company. And that is a big thing that he pushed down from the top. Not that I ever interfaced with Steve Jobs. I didn't. I'm trying to make myself sound cooler than I am. But I'm telling you, that's a big deal when you work at a company like that. And that is something I've never forgot.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good philosophy to keep because, yes, customer are everything. Because if you do not have that customer service, right, that's one. The customer service part, I've learned very young that if you don't have that, they just don't come back. And then the business is gone.
That's right. There's
Now,
always options, right? There's always options.
yeah, you're not unique, you're not special. Somebody else, you'll be replaced easily.
Quickly.
So you mentioned that outside of work and family, working out is a close number two favorite activity. How do you find that your discipline and routine in fitness translate to your approach to business and company leadership?
That's a great question, and I'm going to steal that question from you. I think it's a great interview question, man.
Thank you.
I'm definitely stealing that bad boy. I'll say, well, I think you used the key word. So discipline. So I played football in college, and back then, so 18 to 22, whatever you are, you had to be up at 6 a.m., get to the center, get your workout in, go to class, then come back, practice, study. That's discipline, right? And I think that same thing transfers to business. I get up every morning early. I'm at the gym by 5 because if I don't, there's no way I'm doing it during the day. I'm working with customers all day. There's no way that's happening. And if I don't work out, I am the meanest, ugliest person known to mankind. So I better work out. So it's all about dedication. And that's something all of us work really hard on at life. It's not easy, as you probably know.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm trying to get back into the workout routine. This cold and this fatigue is not helping, but I'm getting there.
It doesn't get easier. Nothing ever gets easier. I
Oh
wish it
no,
did, but nothing ever does.
I totally
Mm.
understand because like when my husband and I used to be Spartans, right? We used to do
Mm.
Spartan races. So we would be up around 5 o'clock and, do the workout routine and all that stuff. And I think at one point we got really tired of doing the workout and
Yeah.
whatnot and doing the Spartan races so that we're like, okay, let's take a break. And is I think our year to go back into at least OCR training and not Spartan races. But that's
Mark it down. Well, I will check back with you mid-year and make sure you're doing that. Deal?
yeah, deal, deal. All right. Well, I thank you so much, Tony, for joining me today. It was a great conversation. Learned a lot about Agile Blue, and I hope to see you soon, see you around. And I thank you to the Wise crew to join me today on this episode, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you for having me.